Picture this. New Orleans, 1918. The air is thick with humidity, the scent of magnolia, and the sultry sounds of a new music called jazz drifting from every corner. But beneath this vibrant surface, a chilling fear is taking hold. A shadowy figure, armed with an axe, is stalking the city, turning homes into gruesome crime scenes. This is the story of the Axeman of New Orleans, a killer who held a city captive and made jazz music a matter of life and death. Between May 1918 and October 1919, a series of brutal, seemingly random attacks paralyzed the city. The assailant would break into homes in the dead of night, often by chiseling out a panel on the back door. Once inside, he would use an axe, usually one belonging to the victims themselves, to commit his horrific deeds. The targets were often, though not exclusively, Italian-American grocers, leading to theories of ethnic prejudice or mafia-related vendettas. The first confirmed victims were Joseph and Catherine Maggio, a couple who ran a small grocery store. They were discovered on the morning of May 23, 1918, in a scene of unimaginable horror. Their throats had been cut with a straight razor, and their heads were bludgeoned with an axe left behind at the scene. A bloody panel chiseled from the back door was the only clue to how the killer entered. The city was horrified, but this was only the beginning. Over the next year, the attacks continued, each one more baffling than the last. Louis Bezumer and his partner, Harriet Lowe, were assaulted in June. Then, in August, Mrs. Schneider, a pregnant woman, was attacked but miraculously survived to give birth to a healthy baby girl. The Cortimiglia family was next, where little Rosie was tragically killed, and her parents were severely injured. The city was on edge. Who was this phantom attacker? Why were they doing this? The police were stumped, with no clear motive and very few clues. The public was terrified, locking their doors and praying they wouldn't be next. Then, in March of 1919, the story took one of the most bizarre turns in the history of true crime. Local newspapers received a letter, allegedly from the killer himself. Written with a taunting, arrogant tone, it began, "Hell, March 13, 1919. Esteemed mortal, they have never caught me and they never will." The author claimed to be not a human being, but a spirit, a demon from the hottest hell. He boasted about his crimes and mocked the police for their inability to catch him. But it was the letter's chilling ultimatum that sent a shockwave through the city. The author declared his love for jazz music, calling it the very devil's own. He then made a strange and terrifying promise. He announced that on the following Tuesday night, March 19th, he would pass over New Orleans, and he would spare anyone in a house where a jazz band was playing at full swing. He wrote, "One thing is certain, and that is that some of your people who do not jazz it on Tuesday night will get the axe." Imagine the choice facing the citizens of New Orleans. Do you dismiss it as a twisted prank? Or do you take the threat from a proven killer seriously? The city chose music. On that fateful Tuesday night, New Orleans erupted in a cacophony of sound. Professional dance halls and music venues were packed to the rafters. But it wasn't just the public halls. In private homes all across the city, families gathered around their phonographs, cranking up the volume on jazz records. Amateur musicians grabbed their instruments, playing for their lives. The night was filled not with screams of terror, but with the defiant, vibrant sounds of trombones, clarinets, and trumpets. It was a citywide party born from fear. Local composer Joseph John Davila even penned a new tune specifically for the occasion, titled "The Mysterious Axeman's Jazz, Don't Scare Me, Papa." It became an instant hit. The night passed, and true to the letter's word, no one was attacked. The Axeman, it seemed, was a demon of his word. Was it a coincidence? Or did the music truly save the city? We'll never know for sure, but for one night, jazz became a shield, a talisman against unspeakable evil. The community, divided by fear, was united by melody. After the jazz-fueled night of March 19th, the attack seemed to wane for a while, giving the city a brief respite. But the Axeman wasn't finished. In the following months, more attacks occurred, proving that the killer's reign of terror had not truly ended. The final confirmed victim was Mike Pepitone, attacked in October 1919. The pattern was horribly familiar: a chiseled door panel, a brutal attack with an axe. The city was once again plunged into fear. And then, just as mysteriously as he had appeared, the Axeman vanished. The attacks stopped. The letters ceased. The Phantom of New Orleans was gone. But who was he? The identity of the Axeman of New Orleans remains one of America's greatest unsolved mysteries. The theories are as wild and varied as the city's own folklore. One of the most prominent theories was that the attacks were mafia hits. The focus on Italian grocers led many to believe it was a message from organized crime, perhaps related to extortion or a turf war. However, the sheer brutality and seemingly random nature of some attacks didn't quite fit the typical mafia profile. Another theory pointed to a man named Joseph Mumfre. He was a man who was shot and killed in Los Angeles in 1920 by the widow of Mike Pepitone, the Axeman's last known victim. She claimed he was the killer, but there was little evidence to definitively prove it, and many historians now believe she may have killed him for unrelated personal reasons. Some have even suggested supernatural explanations, leaning into the killer's own claim of being a demon. In a city steeped in voodoo and ghost stories, this idea took root in the local folklore, transforming the Axeman from a mere criminal into a mythical bogeyman. The simplest and perhaps most terrifying explanation is that the Axeman was a lone, deranged individual, a serial killer who acted on his own twisted impulses, long before the term serial killer was even coined. His choice of victims might have been opportunistic, his motive a dark secret he took to his grave. The Axeman's legacy is deeply embedded in the cultural fabric of New Orleans. He is more than just a cold case. He is a legend, a ghost story told on dark and stormy nights. His chilling tale has inspired countless books, songs, and even storylines in popular television shows. He represents a dark chapter in the city's history, but one that is intertwined with its most famous export, jazz. The story of the Axeman is a grim reminder of a time of terror, but it's also a testament to the resilience of a community. It's the story of how, when faced with an unimaginable threat, the people of New Orleans fought back not with weapons, but with music, turning their fear into a vibrant, life-affirming celebration. They faced the darkness and chose to dance. Thank you for joining me on this journey into one of history's most fascinating and unsettling mysteries. If you found this story as captivating as I do, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the past. Let me know your own theories about the Axeman in the comments below. Stay curious and stay safe.